we're going to talk about St. Augustine. St. Augustine told a story about Alexander the Great. He caught a pirate. He had the pirate brought before him, and Alexander was like, I'm going to paraphrase here, dude, what are you doing? You're disturbing the peace of the seas. And the pirate's like, dude, what are you doing? You're disturbing the peace of the whole planet. But because I do it with one ship, I'm a thief, a pirate, a robber. Because you have a fleet, well, you're an emperor. Pretty smart, isn't it? Morally, there's no difference. If you're attempting to use force to plunder, there's no difference. It's the same thing. It's why it gets very disturbing when people equate legality and morality. When people say, well, it's legal, do it legally. It means nothing. It means nothing. What's the difference between a pirate and a privateer? One's authorized by the state. They do the exact same thing. Hey man, where's the wall? What do you mean what wall? Trump's wall. 1,954 miles of great big beautiful wall. Where is it? No, there was already a wall there. Where's the new wall? You built the new wall where the old wall was. 78 miles. You're telling me that in 3 years, there's not one new mile of wall. Not one. Billions allocated. Took money from DOD. Disrupted the entire government process for 3 years. And not a single mile of new wall. What are y'all doing? And don't get mad at me. I didn't make this stupid promise. My viewers want to see a wall. I'm out here trying to be a good presidential supporter, not like I'm being extorted into it or anything. See, y'all are taking land. Trying to seize land under the Declaration and Taking Act. That's the one where you can take ranchers' land without even discussing paying them until after you're already using it, right? Yeah. So I guess Mexico didn't pay for the wall, huh? Hey man, can you come get me? I might be lost out here. Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. I had intended on doing something funny this morning, but I started trying to get through some of my messages, and there's a whole lot of people asking me to dissect the Fullerton incident. The message that caught my attention is, Bo, what happened in Fullerton? If anybody can tell us what this cop did wrong, it's you. Okay. If you are new to my videos, I'm a very strong critic of police departments and tend to rip apart their actions when they use bad tactics. There are some pastors, and I use that term loosely, that plan on coming down here to Florida and going to the Pulse nightclub on the anniversary of the attack and instigating something, taking them up on their dare, quote, picking a fight, starting an argument, after threatening people. And their videos, if you look through their videos in the past, they are ridiculous. Like many criminals before him, the president has issued a threat, an ultimatum. Comply in 2 weeks or we go after the families. That's the American way, I guess. The one thing I think everybody should take away from this is that, no, it's not the same as Nazi Germany. History doesn't repeat. It rhymes. And this is certainly carrying the tune. We are in occupied territory. The front line is everywhere. Anyway, it's just a thought. If you are not aware, China has quarantined a pretty large city, and that can be unnerving. Before we produce our response, we should wait to get the demographic information of the first cluster of patients, those that didn't recover, because that's going to tell us a whole lot about anything new. Because in the beginning, they don't really know how to treat it. They're kind of guessing. So those are going to be the ones that are going to be hit the hardest. We have that information. Okay, one was 40 to 50. One was 50 to 60, 5 were 60 to 70, 2 were 70 to 80, and 8 were 80 and older. More than half had diagnosed pre-existing conditions, and serious ones like Parkinson's, coronary artery disease, stuff like that. Stuff that could complicate any efforts to treat. More than half had known pre-existing. Based on that, this probably isn't the doomsday pandemic. It looks like it's affecting those that are already in some way compromised. Now, this is assuming that we are getting all of the information that's available, that they are telling us everything that they know. Normally they do, because they want to produce an abundance of caution. Howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again, reporting live from the Mexican border for the Fifth Column. President Trump has declared a national emergency due to an invasion. We've been down here most of the night. We have not seen any signs of any opposition forces. The Pentagon has yet to tell us exactly which country is invading. However, we have seen what appears to be refugees. I'm sorry, say again. It sounded like you said that was the invasion. It was a family of 6, confirmed? He declared a national emergency over people crossing the border to legally claim asylum. Who sent me down here? You get that idiot Justin on the phone. I am so done with this network. We got friends on the other side of the border. We want to build a tunnel. We need your help. The engineering student, he's a refugee himself. So he says, okay. And they start looking, and they find a factory. And inside that factory, they can put the entrance to their tunnel. Nobody will see it. It's perfect. They start digging. Doesn't take them long to realize they need help. So they recruit a couple more engineering students. And they've been digging for weeks now, trying to get to a house on the other side of the border that belongs to one of their friends. They're just going to pop up in the middle of it. He doesn't know they're doing this, by the way. And weeks go by. They still haven't even made it to the border. They realize they need better tools. They need more diggers. In short, they need money. NBC News decides to pay for the tools. Decides to fund building this tunnel. Can you believe that? And they've got to be real careful, though, because there's a lot of patrols, border patrol, running up and down that area. And NBC, at no danger to themselves, of course, they're back on the other side, the exit to the tunnel now, filming this empty hole. And they're filming and waiting, having no idea what's going on the other side, the risk these people are under. And all of a sudden, a woman pops out, covered in mud. Then a baby. Then refugees pour out of this hole for an hour. It's said that when Kennedy saw the footage, he cried. He cried as those people made it to safety in West Berlin, made it to freedom, defeated that wall. If what the Republicans have been saying is true, they can completely cement a 2020 victory. They can destroy this narrative, show that the Democrats just politicized this whole thing, and win in a landslide. Instead, that's not what's happening. It's not what's happening at all. The dog isn't barking. In one of Sherlock Holmes' stories, revolves around a horse getting stolen. And there was a dog in the area, a guard dog. And when Holmes goes through and he does all of his interviews, nobody mentions the dog. When they're recounting the events of the night, Nobody mentions the dog. It's the curious incident of the dog in the nighttime. Dog didn't do anything curious in the nighttime. That's what's curious. He should have barked. The dog didn't bark because he knew the guilty person. I am fairly certain that our senatorial dog recognizes the guilty person. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good night.